Western Ohio. It is mean, it is fast, and it is sure to be one tremendous show. Here with the command to start engines, racing entrepreneur and enthusiast Scott Borchetta, founder of Big Machine Records, and the man behind this razzle-dazzle pace car that everybody loves so much. Scott, take it away.
On behalf of Big Machine Racing, Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers, are you ready to light this thing up? Drivers, start your engines!
Saturday night, under the lights, legends.
Who will take the chicken flag?
Here we go. Buckle up.
Let me introduce you to a brand new thing. No one gotta prove to. You're looking at the king. This life may choose you. So raise your wings. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Ooh, the brand new. Watch this, watch this, watch this. This is a brand new thing.
Welcome to week 3 of the Camping World SRX series on CBS, and let me tell you, we are going to have a party tonight. I'm Lindsay Zarniak. Welcome to Eldora Speedway. This is a place that every racer loves to come. I'm going to tell you, you ask any dirt racer where they really want to win the trophy, they're going to tell you it's 2 dirt tracks. It's Knoxville, Iowa, where we were last week, and it is right here at Eldora Speedway. This is our 2nd straight week on dirt, but let me tell you, this time, it's a little bit different. It's time to go up to the booth now to Alan Bestwick, an IndyCar driver, our new driver analyst, James Hinchcliffe. Welcome, Hinch. Guys, why is this going to be so different from last week?
Lindsay, thanks so much. Great to have Hinch here with us. Knoxville is a half-mile track. Eldora is a half-mile track. But they are 2 very different speedways, and it'll be a different race tonight. How?
Very much so. I mean, at Knoxville last week, the corners had 8 degrees of banking. That's the banking we have on the straightaway here at Eldora. It's 24 degrees in the corners. The corners are longer, the straights are shorter, but you can carry so much speed and momentum. The track's wider, lots of different racing lines, so I think we're going to see a lot of door-to-door action tonight.
I know this. Drivers had an awful lot of fun in their 2 nights of practice on Thursday and Friday. Here's a look at the starting lineup. Our 12 superstars in their identically prepared machines. They're all driving the same color scheme you've gotten used to. The starting order for this first heat picked at random order this week, so you see the drivers as they come by. There is Tony Stewart. He will line up 4th in heat number 1. And as they make their way around, we'll also remind you that the color schemes on the cars, if you're new to SRX, will match the color schemes you see come across the timing and scoring information at the top of your screen. Let's talk to Tony Stewart. This is his place. You'd think he'd have a pretty good handle on what it's going to take to win tonight.
We certainly should, so let's see if we can get him here. Hey, Tony, it's Hinch up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, bud.
Now, Tony, this place is obviously a big passion of yours. You and the whole crew here have put in a lot of work into this place. So how cool is it to get to bring the SRX series here and for you to be back behind the wheel?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's, you know, by itself, I've got a huge love for this facility, obviously, but even more so than that, I mean, having the ability to bring SRX here, what Tony Urey and Ray Abraham have built with these cars and our SRX crew, everything they've done an awesome job. So proud that we're able to do this and proud that we're bringing these awesome drivers here to have a great race today.
Well, it looks good so far, Bub. We're looking forward to an exciting race. And keep an eye out for Waltrip. He said he's coming for you again. Best of luck.
Yeah, I have no doubt. I still got the therapist number from last week, just in case.
No doubt. If you weren't with us a week ago, Michael Waltrip and Tony Stewart racing heavily for the lead in a race. And Tony said if Michael beat him on a dirt track, he was going to need intensive therapy.
You know, it's funny. Not a ton of racing experience on the dirt for Michael Waltrip, and he even admitted he was surprised at the pace he had. But he said if he knew, you know, then what he knows now, he thinks he's got a good shot at this one.
All of these drivers have worked hard to adapt to this new car, this new style of track for a lot of them. And as they get the 1-to-go signal, a reminder about our format tonight, same one as a week ago, timed heat races, and then the main event in which caution laps don't count over that 50 laps, and the average of your finish in the 2 heats is where you'll line up for the main event. Look at this crowd. They opened the gates at 3. They were lined up waiting to come in.
Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm loving what I'm seeing here with the crowd. It's just incredible. Everybody's getting onto their feet now as these guys come onto the back straight, coming to get this green and get this first heat race started.
Well, Lindsay summed it up pretty well at the opening seconds of our broadcast. This place is fast, it can be mean, but for each one of these drivers, it's also going to be an awful lot of fun tonight, testing themselves against the superstars of racing. Here we go with heat number 1 at Eldora. Coming to the green flag, Tony Kanaan on pole in the pink car.
Nice jump from TK, but already Elio looking down to work the low line. Yesterday in practice, it was kind of mid-level and high line that was working, but that 4-time Indy 500 champ not afraid to go to the bottom early, chasing his buddy Tony.
Got a spin, got a contact in the middle of the pack on the back straightaway. Willie T. Ribbs got turned around. Look at the damage to the driver's side door. We stay under green.
Good save from Willie to keep that thing going, but he does have some damage. Doesn't look like it's going to slow him down or get him to have to go to pit lane here.
All right, what happened to Willie T?
Just a little 3 wide there. Paul Tracy.
Yep.
There you go. He got into him a little bit there in a 3 wide. Again, no spotters here, guys. So these guys are just going off feel and what they can see. Paul just pushing up from that low line. Like I said, it's not what they were running in practice. Not a lot of grip down there yet.
Yeah, so trouble early for Willie, and we'll see what the damage might be to the nose of the Paul Tracy car. How about these 2 IndyCar legends racing for the lead on the dirt at Eldora? Castroneves in the red and Kanaan in the pink.
And Kanaan is absolutely hanging that thing out there up on the top there. He got in here late yesterday, jumped in for practice, and he was immediately picking off the rev limiters. We ride on board with our leader now, not afraid to hang this thing out. It's great to see 2 Brazilian Indy 500 champions going for it.
Tony Kanaan has raced here twice before on the dirt, but in a different type of car, in a charity race that Tony Stewart held here called the Prelude to the Dream. The Dream being one of the big late model dirt races of the year held at this speedway. Here's a look from Elio Castroneves' car. Tony said those 2 races on the dirt here were 2 of the most crazy and fun things he's ever done in his life. That from a guy that's run at 230 miles an hour at Indianapolis.
Yeah, no doubt, and he's having fun here tonight, pulling a little bit of a gap, a couple car lengths now over Castroneves, as Castroneves starting to come under pressure from Cody Swanson. You can see on the see them there breathing down his neck now.
So the red, white, and blue cars up to the outside as Tony Stewart in the orange car comes below. That's our local all-star this week. That's Cody Swanson. 33-year-old, originally from California, now lives in the Indianapolis area. The all-time wins leader in USAC Silver Crown Racing. That's the biggest form of the USAC national levels of open-wheel cars. But racing a car with fenders is not something he's used to doing a lot. He's tested himself against the superstars tonight.
Yeah, I talked to Cody after practice and said, hey, you must feel pretty good in these things. It's kind of like, you know, going home. He said, no, this is so different from the kind of cars that I race.
Yeah.
It's really taken me a minute to get comfortable, but it certainly looks like in this first heat race, he's getting very comfortable.
It's a good look at Cody at work. He's racing Tony Stewart for 3rd spot. They're both looking for some running room around Elio Castroneves for 2nd.
Almost getting 3 wide there with Tony Stewart right on the bottom. Cody up top. He's got a good run on Elio now, heading down into turn 3. Really liking what I'm seeing with these multiple lanes. 3 wide behind him with Labonte and Paul Tracy now trying to get into the mix, making it 3 wide again.
Yeah, look at the different lanes. That's so much fun. That's what's going to be so much fun about this track all night tonight.
I'll tell you what's not going to be fun for these drivers right now is this sun setting. It's, you can see right now going through turn 3, heading into 4. It's just blinding these drivers. But let's jump down to Brad down in the pits.
Big Brad, what you got there?
I'm coming to town, baby. I'm coming. Hold on, hold on. I've arrived. I've arrived. I'm telling you, I'm down here with probably the most talented guy in this whole garage area. He does so much work. Hold on, I'm coming out of this. I'm standing here with Rob Plattfoot, and I'm going to tell you, this is the most talented guy in this whole facility. He works here 7 days a week, 100 hours a week, keeping the moisture in this racetrack. That's why it's the best dirt track in the country. It's because of this guy. Matt.
Brad, I can see that we've already got to keep an eye on you, driving that big red case tractor. Meanwhile, keep an eye on Ernie Francis Jr. in that yellow too. This weekend, the 23-year-old is competing in 5 races in 3 different series between Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course and here at Eldora. This kid's dedication is simply impressive. We've got a lead on the racetrack. Close battles there, lead change almost taking place, but this kid continues to impress with his dedication. In fact, on Thursday, he drove round trip 5 hours just to run 15 laps of practice. Now, you already saw that his hectic schedule has been altered again as the caution's out because our Grand Marshal, Scott Borchetta, offered up a seat on his plane back to Mid-Ohio tonight.
Oh man, bonus for young Mr. Francis. Yellow flag as Tony Stewart has taken the lead in heat number 1. Stewart working his way first around Cody Swanson and then around Elio Castroneves. That is a classic slide job.
That is, I mean, it is. He got a good run there. Good drive off the corner, but here it is. Really sent it in, full slider. Tony tried to high-low him. He tried to get the undercut there, just didn't quite have the traction coming off the corner, but an incredible run from Tony to get that lead.
Showing his experience here at Eldora as we're under caution early in heat number 1 on Superstar Saturday night from the dirt track in Western Ohio.
Camping World is here to fuel your outdoor adventures. From the hottest outdoor gear and equipment to just released brand new RVs, we have everything you need to kick off your outdoor adventure at our over 175 locations nationwide. Right now, you can drive away in a new RV for as little as $5 a day and save up to 40% off RV and outdoor gear. Head into your local Camping World or visit us online at campingworld.com today.
Now, we all know Progressive offers 24/7 protection, but we also bundle outdoor vehicles with home and auto to help people save more.
Oh. What are you all doing in my daydream?
It's better than that presentation.
A lot better.
You know, whether it's a fraction or a decimal, it's still fun, you know?
You're clearly someone who takes care of yourself, so why wait to screen for colon cancer? Because when caught in early stages, it's more treatable. I'm Cologuard. I'm non-invasive and detect altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers, even in early stages.
Tell me more.
It's for people 45 plus at average risk for colon cancer, not high risk. False positive and negative results may occur. Ask your prescriber or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you.
I'm on it.
Sounds like a plan.
You know what's fire? Mountain Dew, spicy wings.
Doing spicy? Do the do. Longing for the perfect bite? Marco's. Pizza lovers get it.
Back live, heat race number 1 at Eldora tonight. Quick look again at Tony Stewart's pass for the race lead as we get ready for the restart.
See, TK been running that high line, and he's the first guy, Tony Stewart, to really just throw it down the inside, get on the brakes there. Full slider right up there. Tony tried to counter, but Smoke just had that drive off the corner. It was great.
So Stewart picking the outside lane for the restart. We'll have TK down to his inside, Tony Kanaan. Then it will be Swanson and Castroneves in row number 2. A little under 4 minutes to go in our opening heat.
Three wide rubbing there.
Tracy trying to go up the middle in the lime green car.
3 wide's not working, Paul. Hasn't done it yet. Oh, man. Francis Jr. holding steady on the outside. He's been great, up 4 positions from the start, but he's going to lose a couple here. Bobby Labonte looking racy.
Yeah, Bobby was laying down some good laps the other night. This is on board Bobby Labonte.
That's never what you want to see, guys. The front end of Paul Tracy's car right at the bumper, rear bumper of yours.
Have experience with that, do you?
Once or twice.
Yeah.
But hey, it's all going well so far, and this battling behind has kind of let Tony Stewart and Helio Castroneves pull away a little gap at the front. You can see Marco Andretti getting sideways from that awesome drone shot there. This is great racing.
How about Ernie Francis Jr.? Watch that yellow car back in the frame. He just threw it all the way to the bottom lane and made a couple of passes down in 1 and 2.
Some of these guys might have seen what Tony Stewart did there, getting down to the bottom, as we see Marco Andretti working on Ernie Francis Jr., just getting to the bumper there. And you can see the lead that the first two have over third place. Bobby Labonte up 4 spots from the start.
Paul Tracy started back in 9th place. He's running in 5th. Now forward to 4th. Looking for 3rd on Labonte for the race lead. Side by side, Castroneves and Stewart.
This is great. Castroneves pretty deep on the brakes there, but Tony rolling the momentum. Bobby working the bottom. 3 wide coming off of 4. And Paul Tracy just lurking in the background, waiting to pick up the scraps of whatever happens here.
Down inside of 2 minutes to go. When the clock hits 0, the white flag waves the next time the leader crosses the start-finish line, making it the final lap of our heat race number 1. Castroneves in red, Stewart in orange. Here's Tracy inside of Labonte, lime green and teal.
Look at that, space 4 wide almost going into that corner. Coming with 1:30 to go. This looks like the last lap of the final.
Isn't it though? A lot of incentive with the format to go forward.
Absolutely. Your best average, or your best average position from the 2 heats, that's going to be the guy that starts on pole for the final here. And the big movers, Paul Tracy, Ernie Francis Jr., both up 5 from where they started. So with the inverted grid, they're going to have to work hard again in Heat 2. But Paul Tracy now trying to work that high line on Bobby Labonte. Everybody trying something different, trying to find the grip. Tony Stewart just hanging on to it.
Castroneves inside of Stewart. Stewart a little wide entering turn 1. Not sure if he got any help there or just got up high. Here's Labonte down low.
Castroneves is in front. He's got his nose clear of Tony Stewart. 3 wide behind him, battling for second. 38 seconds left on the clock. Look at this, 3 wide off of 4 again. Bobby Labonte almost down to the wall on the inside there, but making it work. Paul Tracy coming on the outside.
Stewart riding the rim.
The white flag is out. It is a parking lot of cars going 80+ miles an hour to take that white flag as Smoke gets the lead back across the line and leads them into 1.
Stewart in orange, Castroneves in red, Tracy in lime green, Labonte in teal, Marco Andretti now up into the 5th place as Tracy looks for some running room. Here's Marco with the slide job on Labonte off the corner. Tony Stewart wins heat race number 1, Castroneves 2nd, and Tracy 3rd. How fun was that?
Guys, that was a phenomenal heat race. Just a sample of what we got coming. I wonder if there's any tempers that have already started to flare from Heat 1 that we're going to see carry over to the rest of the evening.
Yeah, you might check with Willie T-Ribs on that. Just saying.
Just saying.
Contact early. All right. These fans coming to their feet here at Eldora, applauding these superstars, and that's only one of 3 races we've got for you tonight. Tony Stewart wins Heat 1 for a 2nd week in a row.
The Rec Series on CBS is sponsored by Camping World, America's #1 RV dealer, and by Fram, trusted since 1934.
Annie Oakley, famed sharpshooter known for her side role in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, called this region home. She's buried about 11 miles from this racetrack out Eldora. People flee downtown to take a look at the museum that honors Annie Oakley. But Eldora Speedway is truly the center of this town. We're going to take a look right now at the results again from Heat 1. And you heard Alan Bestwick say it for the 2nd week in a row. It's Tony Stewart in that 1st spot. Paul Tracy able to hold off Bobby Labonte there to edge up. And we've got Heat 2 coming up soon. But again, Eldora, you can feel the dust flying. The fans were on their feet as that heat ended. This track is known for many things. One of the things is bringing people here to celebrate racing for years in the middle of Rossburg, Ohio. We want to take a closer look now at what Eldora means at Inside the Track, presented by Progressive Insurance.
This is Eldora Speedway, located in Rossburg, Ohio, where we like to call the middle of everywhere.
I think it's called the world's greatest dirt track because it attracts the world's foremost drivers.
Who hasn't raced here? Andretti and Unser, Tony and Jeff Gordon. It's definitely been a bucket list track for a lot of guys. Earl Baltus opened it in 1954. He wanted to have the stars of the Indianapolis 500 here, so that's when he expanded it into what is the half mile that it is now.
Earl just was notorious for putting up monies that nobody else would, and it just caught the interest of the world.
He built major events, the World 100 and later with the King's Royal, and followed by the historical big one and the Dirt Late Model Dream. He had reigned over Eldora for about 50 years. He had decided it was time to step down.
He reached out to Tony Stewart. Tony just jumped at it, and since then, Tony has vowed not to change the theory of what Earl was trying to do. The basic Eldora is still here, but just a little bit nicer for the fans and a lot safer for the drivers.
Big events at Eldora deliver big moments. It's been that way for 68 years.
It is a special place indeed. Tomorrow on CBS, a full afternoon of golf begins at 2 Eastern with another PGA Tour original that is Welcome back to the Camping World SRX series from Eldora Speedway. We're getting set for the second heat, so let's get it upstairs to Alan Bestwick and IndyCar driver James Hinchcliffe, guys.
All right, invert the finishing order from heat number 1, and that's how they start for heat number 2. So Willie T. Ribbs is on pole position, and he's going to try and get an early jump on the pack coming off of turn 4 to the green flag.
And he sure does. Great start from Willie T to get a jump on Tony Kanaan, who's going to work that high line again. Tony led 12 laps early in the race in heat 1, but fell all the way back to 11th, which is why he started on the outside of the front row. Maybe a little hard on those tires. We see some big action. Ernie Francis Jr. on the inside of Michael Waltrip in 3.
Francis in the yellow car, Waltrip in the blue, Kanaan on the outside in the magenta car. Matt Yoakum reports up from the pit lane the damage to Willie T. Ribbs' car from the first incident. Well, actually, let's hear on that right now, Matty.
A little bit of duct tape there, Alan, on the left side of Willie T's car. Also a slight air pressure change to try to give him a little bit more security to fight off those guys filling up his mirror.
And he's got a lot of them filling up his mirror, that's for sure. Willie T. Ribbs, 66 years old, racing the superstars of the sport on a Saturday night. He is amazing.
And not just racing well. He's leading this thing. He's led laps now. He's keeping these guys at bay as Kanaan and Francis Jr. side by side. Oh, got some contact. Kanaan is around. Francis is involved. Michael Waltrip, Cody Swanson. And no, Tony Stewart's now in it.
4 stacked up in the corner and a 5th spun around. Started with Kanaan and Francis. And the yellow flag is out.
All right, well, here we go. Take a look at the replay. See Francis Jr. just on the gas, gets a little sideways into Tony Kanaan there, spins him around. Nothing really either one of those guys could do at that point. Tony kind of a victim, and the guys behind just nowhere to go, piling it in. Michael maybe thought he was going to be able to go on the outside of those guys, but Tony started coming back, and that's just it. I'm curious to see how Smoke got turned around. He hadn't actually made up that much ground from starting in the tail of the grid. On board now here with Ernie Francis.
Oh boy. This is Cody Swanson's view.
In front of me.
So Tony Stewart, you mentioned what happened to him. He had to cut down hard to avoid hitting Swanson.
Yeah, it's tough. You can see a broken rear wing there, it looks like on Waltrip's car.
This is the view from the Michael Waltrip machine.
This is going into 3. Francis Jr. was behind him there. Looking at Scott Speed. Another guy getting used to dirt here on an oval. And here it comes. Crunch. Cool.
The damage tab has increased significantly.
Okay, at AT&T, everyone gets our best deals on all smartphones. Let me break it down. You got your new customers, they get our best deals. You got your existing customers, they also get our best deals. Everyone gets the deals. Questions?
Got it. But why did you use a permanent marker?
Because I want to make sure you remember. I'm gonna get a new whiteboard.
It's not complicated. Only AT&T gives everyone our best deals on every smartphone, like the Samsung Galaxy S21 5G for free.
So ashamed I overpaid for this used car. I've decided to go undercover. Guess I picked the wrong used car site.
Remember, if you don't see me, you're not seeing the most accurate price. Shop at Carfax. You won't have to overpay on a used car again.
Hey, Bob.
Oh, my. Hey, Beth, how we feeling?
Good.
Yep.
Moving.
Moving.
Shop millions of great deals, all with a free Carfax report. Only at the all-new Carfax.com.
Up here, success depends on the choices you make. But I know I've got this. And when it comes to controlling his type 2 diabetes, my dad's got this too.
With the right choices, you have it in you to control your A1C, and once-weekly Trulicity may help. Most people taking Trulicity reached an A1C under 7%, and it starts lowering blood sugar from the first dose by helping your body release the insulin it's already making. Trulicity is for type 2 diabetes. It isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. It's not approved for use in children. Don't take Trulicity if you're allergic to it. You or your family have medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, changes in vision, or diabetic retinopathy. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Taking Trulicity with sulfonylurea or insulin raises low blood sugar risk. Side effects include nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, which can lead to dehydration and may worsen kidney problems. Show your world what's truly inside. Ask your doctor about once-weekly Trulicity.
Under caution in heat race number 2 on our Superstar Saturday night at Eldora Speedway after a 4-car pileup down in turn number 1. Another look at what caused all the damage and has 3 cars still sitting on the pit lane being repaired.
A little bit of battle over real estate there between Ernie Francis Jr. and Tony Kanaan, and then it was just a bit of a accordion effect. You know, it's hard to slow down on dirt. The brakes don't work as well as they would as we ride on board with Michael Waltrip, who was just collected with nowhere to go there and then gets hit by Cody Swanson behind. Just hear the crunch. Those cars heavily damaged now in pit lane getting repairs.
So you got Cody Swanson, Michael Waltrip, and Ernie Francis Jr. on pit road getting repaired. What Michael saw and heard. And they have just waved off the restart at the last second.
That looks slightly out of place. Scott Speed there found himself up front, but I don't think he was supposed to be leading at that time. Now you can't lose laps under caution, so the cars in the pits haven't gone a lap down yet, but as we come to get the green here, those guys unfortunately are going to be laps down.
Yeah, I think at this point, the challenge for the SRX crew, they always want to start the main event with 12 cars in the field. So it's to work on those machines and get them race ready for the main event. Swanson's the only one we might see in the rest of this heat too. And halfway through, green flag, Scott Speed in the gold car, the 41, and Marco Andretti in the black machine down low.
Little Rubbin is racing right there, trying to use each other up.
Spin.
Bottom. Oh, big spin on the back straight. Lots of cars involved.
Willie T. Ribbs and Paul Tracy both went around. Tracy did a flying 360 and kept going. Willie has some company back there in the form of Tony Stewart.
Tony Stewart's back there. Looks like
Castro
Tony
Neves,
Kanaan.
yeah. Is that Kanaan? Okay.
Might be, yeah, I think it's Tony Kanaan. 2 Tonys are caught in it. So let's have a look now what happened. Willie T. Ribbs, you can see already has damage from earlier in the night. It's coming off a 2 here. Oh, yeah, again, Willie got a little high into Paul, and it's just everybody, when you get on the brakes to try and avoid it, that's just what happens. I think Tony Kanaan and Stewart maybe got away without too much damage.
Now, let me just ask.
Yep.
A little payback from earlier?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, if that was the idea, it didn't work because Paul kept going and Willie did not. You can see he gets on the throttle, and you see Paul's trying to keep it a little bit lower than normal. There was a car on his outside, so Tony might not have known they were, or sorry, Willie might not have known they were 3 wide in that position. So here's from Tracy. He's got a car on his outside. Doesn't track up as high as he normally would. Really thinks he's going to keep going. Keeps his foot in it. Contact happens. As you say, Paul does a spin and keeps going.
Or Willie might just been mad at getting spun out in earlier in heat number 1. And
maybe.
Exacted a little revenge. We'll find out when we get a chance to talk to him.
We will. We will. We're getting...
All right, a lot of cars damaged down there, Matt.
It is very busy down here on pit road, Alan. Catching up first with Michael Waltrip. Now they're trying to secure your rear wing. A lot of things happen in a quick amount of time here. Not a lot of reaction time.
Well, I reacted okay, and yellow guy, when he's around you, you got to know he's going to run into people. He does it every race. He ran into gold guy. They spit out. I slowed down.
Now, who's in the gold guy?
I don't know. Gold guy.
What about the yellow guy?
Yellow guy's Ernie. He runs into me a lot. People, not just me. And then ringer guy with the pretty red, white, and blue.
Patriotic.
He spun and hit me, and it cleaned out my wing. So right now, Matt, I'm a bird without wings.
Oh, they're going to get him fixed up, though, for the feature, Alan.
And you see one of the things we have available to us as we go through our SRX coverage. Whoop has got us hooked up with the driver's heart rates. And that is Michael's as he's resting there on the pit lane.
Pretty high for sitting in the car not doing anything. You can tell he's a bit fired up. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when Michael Waltrip gets a chance to get back on track.
All right, well, we're getting ready to go for the green flag. So you've got Marco Andretti on the inside and Scott Speed on the outside. Bill Elliott, Bobby Labonte in row 2, Paul Tracy and Elio Castroneves in row 3. And we're down to 2.5 minutes to go in heat number 2, green flag.
Good drive off the corner for Marco Andretti there. He's going to go side by side with Scott Speed as they're side by side behind him, Bobby Labonte and Bill Elliott. 3 wide behind. Good little battle up front here. We've seen the bottom work, but it looks like Scott Speed's going to get a little bit of an edge on Marco. He's always using him up a little. This is some door-to-door action. Oh, look at that.
Not done yet.
Scott just turned it into him. Marco making sure he puts his car where he wants it to be, and everyone else can sort of figure it out from there as Marco now pulls ahead, pulls clear into first over Scott Speed, and Bobby Labonte again making that low line work now.
Back in the pack, Tony Stewart just passed 4 cars down the backstretch. Keep an eye on the orange car, starting to roll toward the front.
You can see Tony's really making that high line work. Everyone else seems to have gone a little bit lower, maybe trying to take some cues from what Bobby Labonte's been able to do, but Smoke's running up there and just carrying so much momentum as we see Paul Tracy trying the same thing. Riding on board with Smoke now, chasing Paul.
It's Tony running in 5th position in the orange car. Bobby Labonte in the teal machine. Just ahead of him will be the next one in line. How about Marco Andretti leading this race?
This is great. Marco was one of the biggest movers in the last heat, and now he's leading this one. This is going to set him up real nice. He's up 8 spots since the start. Same with Paul Tracy, who was the other big mover in heat 1. So these guys are looking to maybe be your front row as we head to the final in just a few seconds now.
There's Paul Tracy looking wide, but he got up a little too high, and Scott Speed's going to come back underneath him. How about Marco Andretti, Matt?
The track that he really wanted to come race was Eldora. He said it exceeded his expectations, already picking up on the dirt racing and how the track changes. He said he noticed it down in turns 3 and 4, a lot more grip than he noticed down in 1 and 2 in practice. Working that inside, looking really strong early on.
How about this cool look we have from Paul Tracy's car? You can see, first of all, the hood flapping from some of the damage from the contact earlier. Second of all, the white driving gloves. Look how busy the hands are behind the wheel.
You know, I got the chance to get in one of these cars last night, Alan, do a couple laps, and I got to tell you, this is one of the busiest places you could possibly go. You're not ever driving straight. You're constantly correcting as Marco Andretti comes off 4 to get the white flag in heat 2.
1 lap to go for Andretti. Tracy 2nd, Speed 3rd. Here comes Stewart around the outside of him to try and pick up that spot.
The now top 3 with Stewart completing that pass are all guys that had a great first heat as well. This is going to be a good finish. Can Tony get the run off of Scott? He can. Marco Andretti over Paul Tracy and Tony Stewart.
So heat number 2 is in the books, and Marco Andretti, who had done zero racing on a dirt track until last Saturday night in Iowa, has just scored a heat race win. and set him up awfully well for the feature with finishes of 4th in the first heat and the win in the second. So, you enjoying it? Lots of action. A little crunching.
Who do you think is going to be the most aggressive?
Well, Paul Tracy.
PT is probably be the most aggressive one.
Me?
I wish I had a spotter to let me know where Tracy is on the racetrack.
It's his personality. He hasn't changed a bit.
You're on the radio. Hey, where's Tracy?
I don't do things half.
We know his history in IndyCar.
My hope of finishing on the podium here is Tracy taking out half the field.
Come on, man. Is Paul Tracy someone I should look out for?
Stay off my bumper, Paul.
I don't understand why everybody's picking on Paul Tracy.
I like to have fun, but I also like to compete, run hard, and rub wheels, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
At least they're all on the same page, right? You're going to learn a lot more about his history coming up. Paul Tracy, if anything, has certainly kept things interesting. There he is, and there he is. Tracy, second in Heat 2, following just behind Marco Andretti, who is standing by right now with Matt Yoakum. Yoakum, I would imagine he feels pretty great about that.
Well, getting ready for the feature, excited to be here. Now you've got a great chance to win. Where is your car balance-wise? It looked like you had some pretty good grip.
Yeah, it's really loose in the middle, which is what I want to fix right now. I don't know what to do to the car, but to do that, but that's what I relayed to him anyway. It's just really loose in the middle, so I can't roll, and this is a momentum track. I need to roll a bit more. But as soon as I saw Paul in my mirror, he's probably the last one you want, behind you, because if he can at least get to you, he's going to try to send you. So it was funny to see him there, and they actually said white flag twice, and I was like, oh no, one more.
His grandfather won here 55 years ago. He'd love to add another Andretti on the win list. Brad?
Matt, I'm down here with Ernie Francis Jr. He was in that big incident a couple of laps ago. Michael Waltrip has hit everything but the lottery these last 2 weekends, and he thinks that Ernie wrecked him. Ernie, he thinks you got into him somehow. Is he correct?
No, I think he actually ran into me and Kanan out there. Not sure what happened. Came off of turn 4. Me and Kanan got together and couldn't get unlocked. He spun around on my front end, and we were just along for the ride. I think Kanan just slid in there, and yeah, I think Waltrip just kind of slid in there and got piled up with the rest of us. I don't think I took him out at all. He's getting a little bit old. Maybe didn't see so well what was going on out there.
Well, keep racing hard, man. Ernie's going to go back out and try to take care of him. Lindsay, what you got?
I love it, Brad. A little trash talking from Ernie Francis Jr. Let's go back, though, to Paul Tracy for a moment. Everybody here is saying he's the most fiery guy out there. Well, Paul, you heard from his competitors what they had to say. Now it's time to hear from him. Paul says there's a reason he is as intense as he is. He describes his personality a little Jekyll and Hyde.
I'm a completely different person when the helmet goes on. I can be very aggressive and very cutthroat.
Confrontation behind the wall. Fisticuffs break out.
I'm always in a confrontation with other drivers.
Oh!
In the race car, you definitely know when I'm around. People that don't know me assume I'm a People that do know me know I can be a bit of a teddy bear. There's two sides to me.
Tracy wins.
Super sick. Excellent job.
My whole life has been racing since I was 5 years old. I won my first go-kart race, and that was it. That's all I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to make my career out of. My dad was very much into it. My dad was able to keep me going even when the times were bad. As a kid, sometimes when you don't do well, you want to quit things, and my dad never let me get discouraged enough to want to stop. When I retired, it's just been a void in my life that I've missed. I enjoy getting behind the wheel and pushing a car to the limit. This is a car I bought about 6-8 months ago as a track car for me to keep my driving current. We're at Apex Motor Club in Arizona. It was a group of guys that we all got together as investors. We needed a place to play with our cars. I'm not coming into this thing to go out and have a good time and slap everybody on the back. If I want to win and challenge for the championship.
Paul Tracy just got the new Apex lap record at 127.5.
I have had it all, whether it be fast boats, fast cars, fast motorcycles, and nothing really feeds that itch like a race car.
So that's him racing. He did say he's a teddy bear. Wherever you see Tracy at the track, you see the love of his life, Lisa, who is there right now beside his car. Speaking of love, it is time to get out of quarantine and back in the dating game. Climb on board for a new season of Love Island in Hawaii. That's where Islanders will do whatever it takes to hold on to their dream date. The new season of Love Island begins Wednesday, July 7th on CBS, or stream for free anytime. Matt Yoakum, standing by a guy who loves racing, four-time winner Elio Castroneves in IndyCar.
Talking about synergy, we just ran that piece with Mr. Aggressive Paul Tracy. The first thing Elio Castroneves asked, where is the 13 of Tracy restarting?
Man, he did an amazing job. I saw the green car coming. I was like, well, coming or going, because it was incredible. But I tell you, man, I was so close. I can't believe it.
It's like Groundhog Day for you.
I know. It was so awesome. I mean, I was trying to, and then I started getting aggressive. I was going backwards, you know. I was like, ah. Anyway, but it was great just to battle with Tony Stewart, and right there in his track, literally, it was super cool. So now, hopefully, we got a good average. We're going to go to the front, and now it's the big race.
All right, he almost picked up that $2,500 bonus for winning the heat. Again, he missed it. Brad.
I'm down here with Bobby Labonte, the man, and I'm going to tell you what, Bobby, you were up there amongst them. I didn't know you had this dirt in you, man. What's this all about?
I was pissed off after last weekend. Tony Stewart won.
Yep.
You got Marco won that. This guy's getting up on the wheel.
Well, the good thing is you haven't been Paul Tracy yet.
I was close a couple times, so dear Lord. Yeah, I got to watch out for that green car this time. But I'll tell you what, I mean, the bad thing was I lost a couple spots in that first heat right there at the end. Lost a spot there to Tony at the end. Car was too loose. We got 50 laps on the feature here, so I got to get it right. Probably follow Tony, and hopefully he'll make a path, and then we'll see what happens after that. But I'm getting, I'm either getting the hang of it, or I'm just getting madder.
All right, so Bobby Labonte's coming to the front, and Lindsay, can you get me on Love Island? I'll go.
You. Okay, we'll work on it. I know someone who could be on Love Island, Tony Stewart, if you can believe that. He's always been light about the trials and tribulations of his love life. He even made light of it during his Hall of Fame induction speech. Until recently, everything changed. That's because one weekend he was going to spend with his friend, pro drag racer Leah Pruitt, turned into more than 3 months because of the pandemic. The rest, as they told our Matt Yoakum, is history.
Are my feet out of it? Yeah, that'll be good. Do that one more time. I'll get a picture for the social. All right, so first, how did you guys meet?
Well, it was,
There's a story. There's definitely a story. So I was riding sand rails with Don Perdome, and Don's like, "Hey, you gotta meet Leah. You gotta meet Leah." So we FaceTimed Leah from the guys' trip, and then
Perdome and I were good friends, and like huge respect for him. And then he'd kind of followed my career, and so when he would call on these trips, I'm like, "All right, Don, you're just bored now." Like.
So basically, the snake had a little bit of Chuck Woolery in it.
oh yeah, a lot. He's responsible for this mess.
Yes.
So
yes, and thankful.
Yeah, definitely.
So how did the pandemic play into you guys speeding up the dating process?
Well, in March, basically, we've been trying to met up, and then I said, "Hey, I'm leaving Indy to go to Havasu, where I live, for like a couple of days. Would you like to go?" So he packed for like 3 or 4 days, and then it turned into 4 months.
Things that we learned about each other in the first 4 or 5 months would have taken 2 years for us to spend that kind of time with each other and get to know each other. So I think that was a huge asset for both of us.
So when you decided you wanted to go to the next step, how did you propose? How did you work out that day?
And I called my mom the night before I proposed to her. I said, "I'm doing it tomorrow." I said, "I can't wait any longer." That day was the anniversary of our very first date. I had her ring in my back pocket. So I just found a spot where nobody was at, and I pulled over and I said, hey, hold this for a second. I said, it's bothering me in my pocket. And then I told her, I said, well, you might as well open this. So. And then it wasn't super romantic. I said, well, what do you think? Should we do this?
Should we do this?
And you said?
I said, only if you like ask me.
So I had to man up and do it the right way. It was well worth it though, for sure.
It was perfect. Have fun. Love you.
Let me ask you, so motor coach driver, jewelry box, driver liaison,
Yes, yes.
hospitality director, spouse pass credential holder, emotional support human, physical training partner, we won't get into that, reigning boyfriend of the year champion.
That's on the back of my business card. I enjoy it. I love going to her events. She's the one that motivates me probably more than anybody now because she's still motivated. You know, she's motivated to be the best in her sport. So it's been fun to get that push from her and almost to a fault, I feel like we care more about the other success than we do our own.
I'm having the most genuinely best, heartfelt, grounded experience in life, in love, in racing. And for me, I finally get to understand what it feels like to be there for somebody else. We don't know what's to come, but we know that we want to do it together. So
I don't know what I'm going to say. What am I going to add to that that's going to make any difference? It's pretty much, that was it.
I mean, that is just a phenomenal story, right? We love love. Brad Doherty, I know you feel the same way. We'll work on getting you on Love Island, but who are you talking to right now?
Right now, I am talking to the smartest crew chief in the history of auto racing, but he's also going to have a big checkbook because they have torn your race cars up, Ray. What are you going to do? What's going to happen? Where do we go from here?
We run down the hardware store and get a bunch of crazy glue. Hi, miss. What are they doing out there? Oh, my God. Like, what? I was like, the racing's good, but the fiberglass deal's bad. Invest in fiberglass. But we're going to take just a couple extra minutes. We're going to put Cody Swanson in the backup car. I want him to run, you know, for his fans. We're going to get all 12 cars like we started here now. If they keep tearing them up, that's going to be up to them. But we got bent stuff. We got fiberglass ripped. We got mad drivers. I had to walk down and say, look, you're about fourth in line of being mad. I got to go take care of the other 4 mad guys. I'll be back in 10 minutes. If you're still mad, I'll talk to you.
Hey, man, we love the show. We appreciate you. Matt, we're coming to you, baby. What you got?
One of the pinball guys that Ray was talking about was indeed Tony Kanaan back in SRX this week. You had some really good advice from Ken Schrader, one of the SRX test drivers. When you got on the dirt here yesterday, what was it?
I mean, Kenny was just telling me the line, and obviously I was here 5 years ago with the Prelude, and I was driving completely sideways, and he's like, dude, you gotta be smooth, and he was a huge help. I mean, he has done a great job for us setting up all these cars for us to have fun, so it definitely was a big help.
Ian David Stremme, the driver coaches here on pit road. Brad?
Well, I'm here with the legendary Tony Stewart. Man, you were putting it on him out there. That was a great move you made in that first heat. That looked like the old smoke.
Well, I might know a little bit about this place, so. But, man, these things are fun to race. It's fun to race with these guys, and these cars are fun. I mean, we were in the 19-second bracket with these cars yesterday, and that's faster than the trucks are here. So they're fun because you can run multiple lines. I mean, I could run a third of the way off the bottom. I could run right up on the wall and everywhere in between. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. It's fun watching these guys that haven't ran a lot of dirt. It's watching them learn as the laps go and they start changing how they're driving and where they're running on the racetrack. So I have a feeling business is going to pick up here at the end.
Tell us about a few of the changes, though. You came in last night. You made some significant changes to this race car. Give us a little bit of an idea of what you had to do.
Well, when we get ready for the event, we only run 5 laps of practice on these cars. So last night we were really good on entry, really good on exit, and we're a little bit tight the middle third of the corner, so we raised the track bar to just try to make it roll the corner a little better. But with the Silver Crown cars here today, the track got a little slicker than yesterday, but we're stuck with the track bar, so we just put 2 rounds of wedge in the left rear, which is the maximum we're allowed, and drop 2 pounds air in the rears, which is the maximum we're allowed. So I think that'll be just fine.
Stay away from Paul Tracy.
Well, Michael Waltrip, if those two get together.
He's done, I think, so maybe, yeah.
Well, if Michael's around him and if I get them next to each other, I'm going to push one into the other, kind of like Kevin Harvick did to Brad Keselowski. So I don't know. I think we're all having fun. PT's fast. I mean, he's rolling around pretty nice. So it's, you know, Kanan will get sorted out here. I think I told him on the break, I said, put 2 rounds of front brake in this thing. So these guys will figure it out. We're having a good time and super. I didn't mention it last week. I want to thank Camping World because Marcos Lamonis and his group to give us the opportunity to keep these cars going up and down the road. That's awesome. And we got Sun RV on our car and got their group with us tonight. So I had specific instructions to kick their butt tonight from Sun RV. So we're doing the best we can.
Good deal, buddy. This is the man they call the smoke. He's bad to the bone, Matt.
Now, we've talked about how the drivers all have their own seat inserts, and Cody Swanson does as well. But what SRX does with their backup cars, one has a seat that when the driver puts the insert in, it has built for a longer torso, much like the tall here, Cody Swanson. So for you, how easy just to hit the reset button and get ready for the feature?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly appreciate all the hard work from everybody that's part of the Superstar Racing experience. These crews have been busting their tail to give us a chance. I hate to tear up any equipment, but thankful for a chance to try it again. So looking forward to the 50-lap feature here.
All right, good luck.
Next Saturday on CBS, we are back under the lights at one of the great racing cities in America, Indianapolis, where some of our favorite drivers from all disciplines will be competing at Lucas Oil Raceway in the Camping World SRX Series. The green flag flies next Saturday. That's at 8 Eastern right here on CBS. You hear those engines firing once again. We're getting closer to the main event. Our Wheels Up pace car driver tonight has seen a lot of success in his years. That's College Football Hall of Fame coach John Cooper. Cooper, you see him here, coached the Buckeyes for 12 years through 2000. He's got 192 wins in his career. Look at that, comparing rings, Hall of Fame rings to that Indy 500 ring for Helio Castroneves. We'll be right back. Camping World SRX Series racing continues right after this on CBS. Stairs to Alan Bestwick and James Hinchcliffe. Guys, what are you looking for?
More damaged race cars and more tempers flaring is what I'm looking for as we look at the starting lineup for our main event. Now, Tony Stewart just pulled down pit lane. We'll get an update on that in a minute, but this is the average of the finishes in the first 2 heat races. So Paul Tracy on the front row with Smoke, Marco Andretti and Helio Castroneves also right up front.
It's great to see a bunch of IndyCar guys, open wheel guys running around on dirt for only the 2nd time running up there. Bobby Labonte doing a great job. He was making the bottom of the racetrack work to great effect. And Scott Speed, our ringer there, is going to be starting 6th.
So mentioning again that Cody Swanson, our local all-star, instead of being in the red, white, and blue car, is going to be in the blue test car. So there'll be 2 blue cars out there. One is Waltrip and one is Swanson. You see him right there. Swanson in the one with no name on the side, Waltrip in the bandaged car from the earlier incident. And a quick look at our progressive race analysis before we get the green flag at our main event. There are your 2 heat winners. And mentioned the Cody Swanson backup car. And 50 laps, caution flag laps don't count. And Tony Stewart has gone to the back of the field as a result of that extra trip down the pit lane. That'll make things interesting. Did I mention tempers might flare in this main event? Listen to this.
DK, you okay? Yeah, man, this is the 3rd race that he takes me out. He's gonna get it.
Now,
copy that. Understandable.
Tony starting right behind the guy he's referencing to, Ernie Francis Jr. Here's the counterpart.
Stay away from Kanan. They said he's kind of pissed off. He's gonna dump you. So I'll let you know if he's close.
That was our celebrity crew chief for the night, Keith Kuntz. He's close. He's lined up right behind you for the restart.
He is right behind him. He doesn't have to tell Ernie that. Ernie knows that. As we see these awesome drone shots, the fireworks are going. The fans are getting onto their feet. Tony Stewart starting shotgun on the field, having been on pole, but he came from the back almost all the way to the front in only about 20 laps of the heat race. So he's got a full 50, brand new tires on all 4 corners of all these cars. So tire management, not the issue that we saw last week. And Marco Andretti is going to lead him to green.
Here they come. The main event on a Saturday night at Eldora is green.
Paul Tracy getting a great jump on that high line, sends it into turn 1. All pretty clean, still 2, almost 3 wide. Stewart back there running up top. He's going to start making work of these guys. So we see them all filing into 3 now.
Elliott down low in the purple car as Tracy leads lap 1. It's Tracy, Castroneves, Andretti, and Scott Speed. Man who's driven everything from Formula 1 to dirt rallycross. He is the ringer for the night. He has been all smiles since he got here, and right now he's trying to challenge Marco Andretti for 3rd spot.
He also featured heavily in a great iRacing league over the offseason called the LCQ League that a few of us were in, and he was a ringer in that too and was a little too good. He tries to work the high line on Marco Andretti here, but I talked to Scott after first practice and said, you've done some stock car racing. That must set you up pretty nicely for this. You ran the trucks here at Eldora on the dirt. He said, no. What set me up for this was my time in rallycross, driving on dirt, learning to drive a car off the right rear, door to door with Marco Andretti. We saw this in the heat. So it's actually his rally racing experience that's given Scott a little bit of an edge and a leg up here in these SRX cars.
It's around Andretti for 3rd spot. Now Bobby Labonte in the teal car to run to the outside of Marco. Marco, when he leaves here tonight, will jump on a plane and go to Watkins Glen, New York, where he and his cousin Jarrett will team up in an IMSA sports car race on the road course tomorrow. He'll jump in that car for the first time at Watkins Glen tomorrow morning.
In the 20-minute warm-up, that's all he's going to have before he gets in that car. That qualified second at the hands of his cousin Oliver Askew, driving in that series as well. He's got 5 hours of sleep, he reckons, before a 6-hour race. So it's going to be a long afternoon for young Marco. As he goes door to door with Labonte there. A little bit of bumping and banging. All comes out okay, though. So far, it's been pretty clean for the start of this race, and Paul's just kind of been able to extend a nice lead out there up front.
Well, a 12-minute timed heat race is one thing. 50 green flag laps is another. And you've got to make the tires have enough grip at lap 50 if you want to win. As you look at our augmented reality view in Ernie Francis Jr.'s car. That is the first time you've seen some augmented reality on television before, in sports television. That's the first time you've ever seen it from a moving car.
There you go, and it's cool to see hitting 90 miles, 92 miles an hour heading in to turn 1 there. You see the RPM, that's the speed the motor is turning over, revolutions per minute. That's on the left-hand side there. And what's crazy, Alan, when I got to drive these cars around here last night, a lot of horsepower in these SRX cars. You don't even get close to full throttle on the straightaway. These things are slipping and sliding. You see how hard Ernie's working the wheel there, catching all those little moments, those little slides. And that throttle pedal not once is coming even close to 100%. You're maybe hovering around 50 down the straightaways before you're already breaking into the corners. So a lot of work, very busy for the drivers out there.
Great look at Tony Stewart's Eldora Speedway, one of the showcase dirt tracks of America. As Stewart races with Bill Elliott for position. This is for 9th and 10th spot.
Smoke now making crazy progress as he does a nice slider here up on Bill, just getting in front of him a bit. But yeah, he's up to 9th now. Still some ways to go. Paul Tracy already off of 2 there. Nice, healthy, about 10 car length lead over Elio Castroneves and Scott Speed right now. So Paul just keeping it clean up there by himself. It's funny, when he's all by himself, there's nothing to hit. He's going fast. It's great.
Talk to Paul about why race an SRX. As you watch PT at work, he said the end of his IndyCar career was less than satisfying. He was in equipment that wasn't competitive to win, and then there was the race at Las Vegas where Dan Weldon was killed, and Paul's family got together with him after that, and he decided to stop driving. But it wasn't the way he wanted to stop driving, and it wasn't when he wanted to stop driving. So when the opportunity to race in SRX came along, he said, I got the bug again, and I'm smiling because I'm competitive and I've got a chance to race.
And you know what? Paul's a born racer. That was always what was so fun to watch about him when he was an IndyCar driver. You know, won 31 races. You can only do that if you've got a boatload of talent and a lot of desire. He's always been a great racer, and great racing is what we're seeing down here for 2nd place now with Elio and Scott Speed. But now Paul's thrilled to be here, and he's been a fun addition to the series for sure.
Castroneves and Speed having a terrific fight for 2nd place. This just a minute ago, looking back from Castroneves' car.
Scott just letting him know he's there. That was, I think, you know, that's a Days of Thunder line right there. He didn't bump you, he didn't even touch you, he rubbed you. And that, my friends, is racing.
was talking to Ray Evernham about this field of drivers and how quickly someone like Helio Castroneves, who's never raced on dirt before, picked it up in just a handful of practice laps last night. And he said, I'm saying, wow, that's impressive. And then I thought, but wait a minute. This is the superstar racing experience. All of these guys are so accomplished, I shouldn't be surprised as the caution comes out at lap 16 of 50. Paul Tracy having a good night at Eldora so far, but a long way to go in our main event.
Our passion for protecting vehicles started in 1934. And we've been pushing the limits of performance ever since. We innovate with the times and have the right filters to fit your needs. It's a trust we don't take lightly. Yeah, we've been around the block, but our journey is just beginning. Fran for the road ahead.
Hi, Verizon launched the first 5G network, and now we want to be the first to give everyone the joy of 5G by giving every customer a new 5G phone on us. Old customers, new customers, families, businesses, in-laws, law firms, every customer. New 5G phones when you trade in your old ones. And if you're not a customer, we'll help cover the cost to switch. Just ask Wanda. She's been with us since now. Upgrade your phone, upgrade your network.
This is so good.
Brittany Elizabeth Johnson, would you do me the...
No.
My dad told me you'd say no.
Kevin, how you gonna pay for that?
He won't have to. Kevin has Good Sam RV insurance, so he's covered. It's specialty RV insurance at a price that fits your budget, so you can focus on those wedding plans. Maybe not by a lake. Make every trip a good trip. Good Sam. Everything you need to have a good trip.
These aren't your normal nachos. Nuh-uh. With double the seasoned beef and a large drink for just $5, it deserves a name with some oomph. Something grand. Or grande. It's the $5 grande nachos, only at Taco Bell.
To prove our AA battery is the world's longest lasting, we tested it against our competitor's best battery. And Energizer Ultimate Lithium wins again. Energizer, backed by science, matched by no one.
Together with Camping World, let's raise $1 million to battle food insecurity in our communities. Camping World will match all individual donations up to $500,000. Learn more at platingchange.com today. Part of Camping World's activation and involvement in the Camping World SRX series. So we saw a lot of damage to the race cars in the heats earlier. They're not the only ones taking a hit.
There's literally some stuff, some debris flying around out there. Might be bits coming off other cars. Might just be a nice hefty chunk of clay. Who knows? But sorry to that camera.
Yeah, the view on the outside door panel of Tony Stewart's car is going to have to be fixed for next week.
But it's also, it just shows how much dirt is out there, and the cars on these dirt tracks, they don't run a windscreen, right? So all that dirt is hitting your visor. You've got what are called tear-offs on the visor that you can pull to try to clear it off. But I was talking to some of the drivers, and they said, and we saw this when we were on board with Ernie Francis Jr., your hands are so busy, you're working so hard, you're never going straight. They said it's hard to find time to take a hand off the wheel to actually pull a tear-off off and get your vision cleared. So it's a bit of a challenge for these guys.
But by the way, as you look at the biggest movers since the start of the race, the drink bottle there in Paul Tracy's car, that's what it is. We had a lot of folks ask on social media, what's that thing in the car next to the driver? It's a drink bottle.
The bigger question is, what's in it for each guy?
Generally water. So you see the hose attached to Paul's helmet so he can keep hydrated while they're working hard. You were saying after you tested these cars last night, Hinch, that your hands and your feet are moving every lap.
They never stop moving. They're moving every second of every lap, even in a straight line. So these guys are definitely being challenged. Reaction times are key, and we're geared up for another restart here as Paul Tracy leads them to the green.
Castroneves to his outside, green flag, and here we go again.
A little bit of contact, but they both kept it off the wall, kept it pointed straight, 3 wide behind them. Paul Tracy really using up Helio. He wants that spot. Look, it looks like he's turning right into him. When he
down low, Scott Speed, 3 wide, Castroneves with the bump on Tracy.
I'll tell you what, that was not accidental. That was absolutely Helio just telling Paul he knows what he did and he's willing to give it back. Great run. Oh, Helio had to bail out of a good run there on the outside of Scott Speed. That let Bobby Labonte get a run, but Elio closed the door. This is great stuff. Loving what I'm seeing here at the start of this thing.
Talked about how calm the main event had been compared to some of the heats. Well, that was until that restart.
I also talked about how Paul was great out front when there was nothing to hit, and then all of a sudden we had cars around and nothing but contact. But he is back out front after that little bit of a jab back. Nice return hit there from Elio. Not enough to turn him around, but enough to let him know he was there. Just look at that, bouncing off each other. Bray Abraham's just cringing as he's watching these replays. Stop damaging my car.
It's a good thing the drive to Indianapolis is short. Tony Stewart, remember, started last, and he has worked his way up now to be racing for 4th place in our main event. And we're not quite to halfway. Working on Marco Andretti here.
You know, one of the things Tony Stewart said is, hey, look, man, if you want to talk to me at any time, even under green, let's give it a whirl. So this might be a first in motorsports too, but we're going to get Tony Stewart on the radio here if we can. Hey, Smoke, it's Hitch up in the booth. You got me, bud?
Yeah, what you got going on up here, bud?
Just watching you put on a little bit of a master class, going from pole to the back before the start there, now all the way up to 4th, man. How's the thing handling?
Pretty good. I'm about to give your little brother here an education here in 1 lap. Please hold.
I don't know, man. He said he had his eye on you. If you came around the outside of him, he was going to try something. So just be careful of Marco, but go have fun out there.
Yeah, we'll try. We're having a good time. These things are really fun, man. I know you got a chance to run yesterday. This rail level's going to come in right
here. Just look at that. He calls it, and he does it. Trying to run on the inside of Marco Andretti there. Almost gets it done, but remember, you got Cody Swanson in that blue car right behind him. Now Smoke's going low, trying the slider. He's coming up. Marco is trying to hold the outside. Way high. Has to back out of the throttle. That gives Cody Swanson a chance to dive down the inside and try the slider. Marco going to make it 3. Oh boy, here we go.
That's fun.
This is too much fun. This is too much fun to watch. You can only imagine how fun it is to be in as the yellow flag flies for Tony Kanaan.
So, didn't want to distract your attention from that, but while that was going on at the front, Tony Kanaan and Ernie Francis Jr. got together at the back.
Oh, did they find each other?
They might have found each other, about 4 times.
Well, let's take a look from Tony Kanaan's car. And you can hear the contact there, so it looks like, oh dear.
There he is.
Francis Jr. got him once again. That is going to be one very fired up TK.
All right, caution out, 23 laps down, 27 to go in our main event at Eldora, and the action is far from over.
Okay, at AT&T, everyone gets our best deals on all smartphones.
Let me break it down. You got your new customers. They get our best deals. You got your existing customers. They also get our best deals. Everyone gets the deals. Questions?
Got it. But why did you use a permanent marker?
Because I want to make sure you remember. I'm gonna get a new whiteboard.
It's not complicated. Only AT&T gives everyone our best deals on every smartphone, like the Samsung Galaxy S21 5G for free.
For some reason, I can't stop ordering strawberry limeades.
My favorite Sonic drink?
Yeah.
Ocean water.
The slush is bringing this to another level.
Cherry limeade.
Cheers.
Through Ancestry, I learned so much about my grandparents that I never knew. I'm a lawyer now, but I had no idea that my grandfather was a federal judge in Guatemala. My grandfather used his legal degree and his knowledge to help people that were voiceless in his country. That put a fire in my heart. It made me realize where I got my passion for social justice.
Bring your family history to life like never before. Get started for free at Ancestry.com.
Think premium can't be capable? Think again. Introducing the first ever AT4 lineup. Premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC.
Perrier, the original spark.
I feel golden. I feel like glitter on my shoulders. I feel golden. I feel like, oh.
Perrier. Boldly refreshing since 1863.
On Wednesday, July 7th, Big Brother is back with an all-new house guests playing the game you love. Julie Chen Moonves hosts the season premiere of Big Brother, Wednesday, July 7th on CBS. So there's been a little radio chatter under this caution. Let's listen.
It's the third time that he spun me. I am going to take him out.
And by the way, he happens to be lined up right behind Ernie Francis Jr. for the restart.
I mean, if Ernie Francis Jr. wasn't worried on the initial start, he should be worried now. This was under caution here. He caught up to him just to give him a little nudge, say, "Hey, bro, just so you know, I'm here. I'm coming."
All right. Well, there's plenty of racing left and plenty of front bumper left.
Look, it's all in good fun, but at the end of the day, as much as the guys were, slapping each other's back and having a good laugh after the practice sessions yesterday, when the helmet comes on in the race and the green flag flies, that competitiveness always is going to come out, and you can hear it in TK's voice. He wants to be running up front. He doesn't want to be dealing with getting spun around, which I think everybody can understand. So this is going to be interesting as we come to the green this time by.
So Paul Tracy and Scott Speed on the front row. Tracy choosing the outside line for the restart, the lime green car. He's done all the leading in this main event so far. Then you've got in row number 2, Cody Swanson, the local all-star, and Tony Stewart. 27 laps of green flag racing left in our main event.
Pretty good start from Scott Speed there. He kind of squared off that corner coming off of 4 to get a better run, but Paul still had that momentum going into turn 1 and was able to pull ahead, take the lead. Cody Swanson settling in there, and my man Smoke, Tony Stewart, running there in 4th. Those drone shots are just incredible.
Just kind of waiting to see who hits who next. There's Bobby Labonte in the teal car underneath Marco Andretti. Both of them trying to use the bottom lane. Bobby has to back out. How about Cody Swanson starting this main event in a backup car?
In a backup car after running a bunch of hot laps and qualifying in his Silver Crown car earlier this evening, a race he's going to be doing a little bit after this race here. This is going to be a very busy night for Cody Swanson.
Matt has more on the driver from California.
Like the rest of the drivers, Alan, they all got hot laps in practice trying to learn this car. For Cody Swanson, he last competed Eldora back in September of 2019. He says the biggest issue for him was trying to build trust in this car. He's got that blue car out front.
Paul Tracy had a big run at him into turn 1, but couldn't hold the bottom line. So Cody Swanson goes to the lead. Second generation racer. His dad, a short track racer out in California. It's what got him involved in the sport. Moved from California to Indianapolis, father of 2. His wife Jordan is his spotter when racing has those things. Doesn't have a spotter here. And they're kind of in a family situation as you watch the pass for the lead. They have 2 young boys. So when they're going to go racing, now that she's spotting for him, one of their sets of parents flies in from California to look after the kids.
There you go. God bless grandparents. Great job from Cody on the bottom there. And he is sort of the driver we brought in as the local hero, but on one hand, he's the winningest driver in Silver Crown history. He's never actually won a main here at Eldora. So we had the local win at the very first race in Stafford. We have another local leading and kind of pulling away from Paul Tracy and the rest of the field with 30 laps down here. You can see 5-time USAC Silver Crown champion, 31 Silver Crown wins, like I said, most in series history. And he seems to have finally found his groove and gotten to grips with this Camping World SRX car.
So Swanson, the leader. Paul Tracy second, being challenged there by Scott Speed. There's Speed and Tracy. Then behind them, you've got Marco Andretti, Bobby Labonte, and Tony Stewart mixed up in a race for what would be 4th position.
Scott Speed's going to be joining the series next week at IRP in Indianapolis as well on the pavement, so he's going to get a little bit of dose of everything, but I know he's enjoying running this dirt race. As I was saying earlier, his rally experience really coming into play here as he's trying to work on Paul Tracy and get that low line to work right up to his bumper. Is he going to try to move the famous thrill from West Hill, the famous chrome horn here? you can see how dirty that piece of glass in front of the camera is protecting it gets. That's what ends up on the driver's visor and kind of blurs your vision. And like I said, with how hard you were working, you can see Paul's hands here just sawing at the wheel. You almost don't have time to reach up to your visor and clean it off. Scott's getting very close to the quarter panel of that number 13 car.
Scott Speed's day job, I guess you'd call it these days, is driving rallycross cars as the caution comes out for Travis Pastrana's Nitro Rallycross Series. Scott broke his back in 2019 leading that championship and was basically out of racing, and the rallycross season starts this fall, so he hasn't done a whole lot of racing, but he's wheeling it tonight here at Eldora on Superstar Saturday night. Paul Tracy chasing Cody Swanson, the leader, with 17 to go.
At Progressive, we love your pets as much as you do. Like this guy in a hat. That's why Progressive Car Insurance covers your pets for up to $1,000 if they're ever in a car accident with you. This mini majorette's gonna march her way right
I'm sorry,
into
can we stop? I know that we're selling car insurance here, but, you know, all the cute little animals, it's too much.
Define too much.
What's wrong with cute animals?
So are we doing this or what?
Nah, it's over.
Well, someone's got to break the news to Mittens. She's a diva.
If you have risk factors like heart disease, diabetes, and raised triglycerides, Vasipa can give you something to celebrate. Vasipa, when added to your statin, is clinically proven to provide 25% lower risk from heart attack and stroke. Vasipa is clearly different. First and only FDA approved. Celebrate less risk, even for those with family history. Don't take Vasipa if you are or become allergic to icosapent ethyl or any inactive ingredient in Vasipa. Serious side effects may occur, like heart rhythm problems and bleeding. Heart rhythm problems may occur in more people with persistent cardiovascular risk or who have had them in the past. Tell your doctor if you experience an irregular heartbeat or other heart rhythm problems. Possible side effects include muscle and joint pain. Celebrate less risk. Added cardio protection. Talk to your doctor about adding protection with Vasipa.
Out here, you're more than just a landowner. You're a gardener, a landscaper, a hunter. Because you didn't settle for ordinary. Same goes for your equipment. Versatile, powerful, durable Kubota equipment. More goes into it, so you get more out of it.
$17 to go in our main event on Superstar Saturday night, the Camping World SRX Series at Eldora Speedway in northwestern Ohio. And the leader is 33-year-old Cody Swanson, the local all-star. He came from California to race open-wheel cars in the Midwest, following in the path of one of his idols who raced those cars in the Midwest, Tony Stewart. Swanson telling us it was a thrill to meet Tony, let alone race with him.
There he is, folks, your winner. The 31st time in series history, the number 77, Cody Swanson.
I'm most known for the USAC Silver Crown Series and with SRX racing at Eldora and Silver Crown on the undercard. Maybe that was my fit.
Swanson takes the checkered flag.
I remember how cool I thought it was watching the IROC series growing up, and you always kind of hope that'd be so cool to be a part of. I never really imagined that I would be selected or even be considered.
Ladies and gentlemen, there he is, Cody Swanson.
I've been thankful to have had a career like I've had and just enjoying every opportunity to get in any type of car that I can. I enjoy being the underdog because it's all upside, right? It's hard to beat Tony Stewart anywhere you race against him, let alone at his home track. So it'll be tough for sure, but I mean, we're racers, right? The only time you leave the racetrack feeling successful is if you're holding the trophy. That's what we're all going for, and hopefully I can be the guy that comes out on top.
Talk to people around USAC racing in the Midwest about Cody Swanson, and that old saying, nice guys finish last, goes right out the window because he is the nicest guy you'd meet, and he finishes first a lot.
It's funny, I was talking to some friends in the Silver Crown paddock and asking them about Cody. That's exactly what everyone said. It was unanimous across the paddock. Just the nicest guy in racing, so humble, so genuine, and so very fast. And
got so much company now as we get ready to go back racing. Paul Tracy to his outside, Scott Speed, Marco Andretti in row 2, Bobby Labonte, Tony Stewart in row 3, and the green flag waving right now.
Paul got a great jump. Interesting that Cody decided to take the inside line, knowing that Paul's really been liking the high line. It almost would have been interesting to see him.
Tony Stewart, 3 wide on the outside off turn number 2, trying to make a quick move, and he does it.
Oh boy, that is a great move there. Really capitalizing on these restarts to try and get up there. Started last, cleared both Scott Speed and Marco Andretti in that move. Great run into the top 3 here. And Bobby Labonte still just hanging on there. He's in 5th place. If you ride on board with Marco Andretti, he kind of was the first driver to get down to that low line. It's really come in now. A lot of guys down there. Not Tony Stewart at the top of your screen. But you can see Cody Swanson trying to make it work and get to the rear bumper of that 15 car of Paul Tracy.
Stewart around Scott Speed and trying to clear him for 3rd place, while Swanson is underneath Tracy for the race lead into turn 3.
Paul's not done yet, though. He's going to keep trying to work that high line. You can see Cody just spinning the wheels down there on the front straight, leaving big dirt tracks, trying to get the power down for these very powerful SRX cars. Like I said, you never even come close to full throttle as Tony Stewart's running that high line, trying to hang on to 3rd. 3 wide down there in turn 3 and 4.
Bobby Labonte went all the way to the bottom to try and get underneath Scott Speed, while you ride with Paul Tracy chasing the race leader.
And look at that, Paul's now trying to go down low. It's the first time in a bunch of laps we've seen him try that lower line. Obviously it's working for Cody Swanson, so Paul's trying to find where that speed's coming from and exploring down there a little bit now.
Crossover move from Smoke.
Oh, that was beautiful. Great run up high off of 4, had the momentum, cut below Paul Tracy and slid it all the way in there, and that was brilliant.
Well, he talked about, for Cody Swanson, what a thrill it would be to meet Tony Stewart, get invited to race with him. Well, now he's literally going to race him for the win, it looks like.
At his home track, a track he has been successful at but never won at. Now he's got the biggest competition you could possibly have. Let's take another look at that pass from Tony Stewart on Paul Tracy. Big run off of turn 4, cuts down to the inside. Full send in there. Got up in front of Paul. Paul thought about trying to cut back, doing the over-under, but just ultimately didn't have the drive off the corner. Here we are on board with Tony. That was not a lot of margin for error.
All right, the view from Tony Stewart. He knows how to get it done here, those numbers say.
All of the possible heats and mains so far in the SRX Championship. Tony's finished in the top 5 in all but one of them. And he is set to get another one, if not another stage win here.
Bobby Labonte through to 3rd, passing Paul Tracy, clearing him. Remember, Bobby said he wanted to let Tony make a path to the front.
Seems to be a good strategy working out for Labonte so far, just sort of hanging on and watching Smoke and following him through.
Caution flag is out. One of the things that the SRX series is concerned about with the fiberglass body panels and the no windshields in the cars on dirt, when cars make contact and chunks of that fiberglass come onto the track, something getting kicked up and bapping a driver. I know that's something you've experienced in an open wheel car, and so
it is, and I promise you it's not fun. But we've got a caution here. We've got an opportunity to maybe talk to another guy that we were just talking about and is having a great run. Let's see if we can get Bobby Labonte on the radio. Hey Bobby, it's James up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, what's going on?
Well, you said you wanted to just watch Tony Stewart make a path and go through with him, and so far so good, bud. How's it going out there?
It's pretty slippery, but all's good. I think this is Cody in front of me. I'm his teammate tomorrow as well, so, you know, I don't know. I mean, this is going to be a quick yellow. We'll get after it here and just see what we got, man. We just got to take care of our right side from Paul Tracy, looks like.
Yeah, that would be a good move based on what we've seen so far tonight. Are you going to prefer the high line or the low line on this restart here?
With him on the outside, I think I'll stick to the bottom.
Copy that. Well, best of luck, bud. Get up there.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
There's a stock car race tomorrow in Xenia, Ohio at Kilcare Speedway. Both Cody Swanson and Bobby Labonte are racing it for the same team as teammates. That explains Bobby's we're teammates tomorrow comment.
Yeah, so I guess that means he might not try to get to his bumper too hard tonight if they got to work together tomorrow.
We'll see. All right, getting ready to go. 8 laps to go in our main event at Eldora. This big crowd all just stood up at once because we're coming to the restart. Cody Swanson inside of Tony Stewart. Bobby Labonte inside of Paul Tracy. Enjoy it. The rim, but he can't quite clear Swanson yet. 7 to go.
It's a good battle all the way through. 2 wide almost the whole way through the field now. Tony making that top work. Cody kind of having to finally give up that spot. It's properly clear as Bobby Labonte still fending off Paul Tracy down there on the low line.
Tony Stewart to the lead, but Swanson's not done yet.
He is getting great runs off the corners. You can see him trying to make that low line work, but the momentum that Tony Stewart carries on that wider line up top is just too much for Cody right now.
So Swanson gonna move up, contact, Bobby Labonte, Paul Tracy. Labonte's around and is contacted there twice. In turn 2, yellow flag is out.
That is quite a mess, guys. A lot of damage to the 18 car. We just talked to Bobby. He just said it. Wanted to look out for the 15, and unfortunately, it looks like that didn't work out. But a lot of debris on the racetrack.
And Bill Elliott got a piece. Marco Andretti with some significant damage on the nose of the black machine as well. So the race for 3rd position gone bad in turn number 2 and leaving a mess to clean up.
Paul Tracy just gets to him and gets into him. It's not much to say there. That one sort of speaks for itself. Paul just got right into the back of Bobby Labonte and spun him. Was maybe trying to get underneath him, but just misjudged it, and unfortunately that's the way that goes.
I think he thought he was going to be able to do that crossover underneath like Tony did, but Bobby was kind of heading toward that lower lane, and the hole wasn't there. And then Marco Andretti with no place to go.
It was a little bit of a glancing blow there for Marco, so the bodywork looks like it took a big hit, but hopefully there's no damages other than that underneath. You can hear there, you can see it on board with Bobby Labonte. There's nothing he can do there. You can see once the car goes around, the dust that kicks up, the drivers are almost blinded. It's very difficult to know where to go. As we said earlier, getting on the brakes on the dirt doesn't necessarily stop it as well as you might like it to. So unfortunately, night done for Bobby Labonte after having a great run running up there in the top 3.
So there the cars damaged in the accident, and you see Bill Elliott's car. They're trying to patch that together. That is a different car than Bill raced the first 2 races in the series with, by the way. He was given a whole new chassis this week because of the difficulties that he had in the first couple of races, though they did track down the elusive problem.
Yeah, I feel really bad for Bill. I was talking to him beforehand, and he said, I just want to finish one of these things. You know, car problems, nothing fault of his own, not a contact issue, just having, obviously, bad luck with the race car, now having bad luck on track, and we see him getting out of the car. So, unfortunately, that's another driver whose day's done with 5 to go here when we do get back to green flag racing.
Clean up over in turn 2 while Bill Elliott gets out of his car. You see Paul Tracy's machine is on the pit lane also. Marco Andretti with he stayed on the racetrack with that beaten up front end.
And let's see if we can get Marco on the radio and get his perspective on that. Hey, MA, it's Hinch up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
So we see that the front of the car on the bodywork doesn't look so great. A little bit of contact there. What did you see?
Just Tracy doing his thing.
I'm not really worried about the bodywork. The car seems to feel okay, so I'm definitely not going to pit.
You've been having a great night all night, Bud. You're running now in the top 3. Do you have anything for these 2 up front?
I don't know. I just found a little bit on the high side, but it's so tricky. I'm still learning. Hopefully I can get some drive off a 4.
All right, well, keep what's left of that nose clean. Have a good one, Bud.
Copy that.
Hinch can't overstate when Marco says, I'm still learning. The challenge of learning how to race on an ever-changing dirt track for a guy who spent his entire career in open-wheel cars.
And that's just it. It's a function of every time we've gone on track with these cars to practice, the conditions have been different, but then to see it change as the race goes on, that's a completely different thing that all these guys have to learn as we go on board with Marco from this crash. To see Paul get down there, gets into Bobby, and there's just really nowhere for him to go. He tries to go high, tries to go low. But like we said, it looks like it's mostly just body damage, and the mechanical stuff underneath there doesn't seem to be too bad. So hopefully Marco can get in there and give these guys a little bit of a race.
1 to go, so coming to the restart next time. 5 laps to go in our main event. Lucas Oil Raceway in Indianapolis next week, but business to be settled here at Eldora tonight. So Tony Stewart chooses the outside lane. Cody Swanson is to his inside, the local all-star. Then it's Marco Andretti and Scott Speed in row number 2.
Those guys have had a bunch of battles already tonight. Let's see how this plays out. 5 to go and all to play for.
Green flag.
Great jump from Cody Swanson there.
Helio Castroneves 3 wide down at the bottom, looking to move forward, while up front Swanson clears Stewart for the lead for now.
And it is busy back there. Marco Andretti sliding a little bit high on the back of Scott Speed's bumper. Tony Stewart now trying to make that work on the high side. It's great seeing these guys run different lines, prefer different lines. We see Francis Jr. very sideways, and Tony's got a great run off of 2.
There is no question from watching the reaction of the grandstand out the window in front of us. He is the fan favorite. Here they come to the stripe. 3 laps to go. Stewart clears Swanson. Castroneves and Speed for second with Andretti right there.
I love this. Swanson's now decided to go try to work that high line, and he got right up to his bumper. That was the best run off of 2 he's had. He's going to try to slide it up here now, all the way to the bottom. Tony's coming back high, side by side at the line. 2 to go.
Stewart hangs on for now. They will come to the white flag and start the last lap next time by.
Bit crossed up from Cody coming off of 2, nowhere near as close into 3 this time. Doesn't mean he's not still going to try something here.
White flag, final lap at Eldora. Stewart hanging on, but Swanson trying to find some running room. Castroneves and Speed for 3rd as well. Here they go, turn number 2, last time. 1 last set of corners to try it. Swanson low, Stewart high. Checkered flag. Who's the winner? Tony Stewart wins at Eldora.
And look at that, guys. What a finish. Cody Swanson just coming up short. I don't want to say hometown hero, but kind of hometown hero. Track owner, series owner. Tony Stewart, back-to-back wins on the dirt in the Camping World SRX Series. That's what this is all about. This was a great race.
These folks love the show. They love smoke. And boy, don't they know how to do the fireworks at Eldora. On the track and off. Tony Stewart of the local all-star, Cody Swanson putting on a great show for the fans. Stewart in victory lane. Post-race coming up.
On their feet, getting what they came for. It is smoke. Tony Stewart, the winner of this race. Matt Yoakum is standing by with Stewart.
SRX at Eldora is certainly disappointing. And Cody Swanson and you put on a battle. I mean, that was something that he really made you work for. It was not easy. 8 to go, 5 to go, restarts and restarts.
Yeah, Cody found the bottom. I couldn't roll the bottom as good as he could. I was real dependent on being up on the top, and I just think that's what Eldora does. The complexion of the track changes during the race, and I thought the top was good at the beginning of the main, and then Cody got just crushing everybody on the bottom and got rolling through there. But the good thing was when he went by and everybody else went, you know, when he went by everybody else, they all followed him down there like they were in a parade and left the top open. And the longer we went, I finally got the momentum going on the top and get back by.
So your fans saw you come down pit road. You accidentally hit the kill switch in this car, started at the back, and it was like a clinic. Slide job, high, low. It was beautiful to watch for the dirt fans to see you just work all areas of this racetrack.
And, you know, Steve Kinzer and Donnie Schatz and Doug Wolfgang and some of the greatest, you know, the guys that are getting ready to run the Silver Crown race. You want to watch some guys that know how to pull slide jobs. Stick around for this next race that's coming up. These guys know how to pull them here. But Jack Hewitt was probably the best I've ever seen here at Eldora, and I learned a couple things watching him win the 4 Crown one year where he won all 4 divisions. And I used that line quite a bit early in the race today, so it helped out a lot.
Congratulations. Smoke adds another one here at Eldora. Brad?
Thanks, Matt. I'm here with Cody Swanson. Cody, you had the bottom absolutely working. You almost got smoked. Tell us about those last few laps.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like we had a really strong car through the middle of the race, and really appreciate everybody with SRX and you know, the guys on the crews, right? They built 16 cars to come out and put this on in a short amount of time, and appreciate them letting me have a chance in a backup car. You know, I hate to tear up their equipment, but and hate to lose. You know, gosh darn it, I felt like we were really good in the middle of the race, and the bottoms just kind of gave up a little bit, and I could have the top of 1 and 2 working, but once Tony had track position, it was hard to get back by him, and felt like I had a chance there, and just maybe it didn't quite hit the bottom perfect, and he got back around, and it's awful hard to beat him here at Eldora.
Absolutely, you did a great job, Matt. Young man ran second, but he was up front all night.
Another guy who created a lot of excitement tonight was 23-year-old Ernie Francis Jr., and he talked a lot about how drifting really helped with your car control on the dirt, but you saw a lot tonight, and especially this save.
Oh, yeah, that's the one right there. I thought I was gone right there. I was full lock for most of the turn. I don't know how I saved it there. Car was good in the beginning, and then after that incident with Kanan, car was pretty crappy to drive. We were just trying to hang on most of the run, and did what we could out there, tried to salvage whatever points we could, but yeah, overall, not too terrible weekend. We finished the race, so it is what it is. Just really happy to be out here representing all our partners, the Bonacani Fund, Wings and Wheels Foundation, and Future Star Racing. On to Mid-Ohio tomorrow for another 3 races, and hopefully it goes better than today.
All right, thanks, Ernie. Let's go to Brad.
Thanks, Matt. I'm here with Tony Kanaan. Tony, man, you had it ain't gonna do any good, man. It doesn't help. Listen, you had a fast race car early on. You got dinged up a little bit. You and Ernie Francis got together, and we're kind of in the same neighborhood all night long. Tell us a little bit about your evening.
Yeah, I mean, the start was great. The car was actually really good in the beginning. Then Francis hit me. Then I hopped to the back and actually bent the front wheel a little bit, and then it was, you know, it was the first heat. And it seemed like we kept encountering each other in the racetrack every time, and you know, it's all for fun. Obviously, it's good to have a little bit of a battle. Obviously, I wasn't very happy. I think I gave him a little tap under the yellow flag, and I looked up and I saw that on TV. So it's for the fans, but it was fun. I loved it. I mean, what a great race. What a great crowd. I mean, and Tony's dominating. The other Tony is dominating, right?
Absolutely. Hey, Tony Kanaan was strong tonight, Lindsay.
Yes, Brad. You know, you get the feeling that the competition is just getting heavier and heavier as these races go on. Let's give you another look at the results tonight. Of course, Tony Stewart getting the win at his house at Eldora. Cody Swanson holding on a fight right there. We're going to go now to Matt Yoakum. Yoakum, who do you have?
Elio Castroneves, close again of scoring his first ever dirt win. Remember, the first time he was on dirt and the only time he was 11 on a BMX bike. How would you describe your run here at Eldora? Because it just seemed like there was drama everywhere.
It was crazy. I mean, especially on the restart with PT. I mean, my goodness, I kept hitting me, and I don't have any place to go. It was except the wall, and I kept hitting the wall. So after that, something happened, but it was really difficult. My car was really loose. So in the end, I said I got to go in the bottom because I saw some of the guys going in the bottom. That's where the only way for my car to be. A long run was terrible for me restarts were the best. And so I kept it consistently clean, let's put it this way. But man, I can't believe my first podium on the dirt. That is awesome.
All right, we talked about the thrill from West Hill. Let's go to my buddy Brad, who's with him.
Standing here with the thrill, I'm telling you, your name is circulating throughout this pit road, Paul. Tell us about your night.
I know I'm going to have some Bobby Labonte fans after me because he's super pissed at me, and rightly so. Like, he got by me on the restart, and I was running up top, and I decided I was going to cut to the bottom like Tony did, and I just got it all wrong. He turned in a little earlier than I thought he would, and I tagged him, and that was it. So that was my bad, and I went over to apologize to him. He was having none of it, but I felt great tonight. SRX cars put on a great show. I felt really good on this track. This is a wonderful track that Tony has, and I couldn't be happier with how we ran overall all night and picked up a lot of points tonight. Hopefully made some new fans, and I'm sure I got some enemies. The Bobby Labonte's guys probably hate me.
Paul Tracy was stout all night long, Lindsey. We roll on to Indy.
Oh, yes, we're rolling. We're going to see what plays out there. The energy down here is really incredible. But let's go up right now to the booth. Alan Bestwick and James Hinchcliffe. Guys, what's it been like from your vantage point?
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to ask Hinch. Your first time here watching the SRX Series in person and watching here at Eldora. What'd you come away from the night thinking?
I'm not sure who had more fun, them out there or us watching here. I mean, that was an absolutely incredible show. We had racing up and down the field. We had accidents, we had crashes, we had guys getting into each other, we had different lines, we had guys going from the back to the front. It literally was everything. I had an absolute blast watching, and man, do I have a lot of respect for this racetrack and the people that race on it.
And watching some of your IndyCar compatriots adapt to racing in a car with fenders and on a dirt track.
Honestly, I mean, they kind of got best in class. You know, I mean, Elio, PT, Marco, all those guys, 3 through 5, 2 dirt specialists up front. So I think that was a pretty good show from the new guys.
And as far as who impressed you the most tonight, who was it?
Well, I mean, you got to take Tony Stewart out of it. And, I mean, Cody, again, he did a great job, especially for a track that's maybe not his favorite. But I loved seeing Marco running up there, you know, getting up front. Bobby Labonte did a great job, too. It was nice to see him running up there as well.
Yeah, I kept telling you one word getting into this, right? I kept saying, you're going to have fun. You're going to have fun. Lindsey, he had fun.
Yes, he certainly did. And you know what's cool? A lot of guys walking around down here with smiles on their faces, just like you said last week, Alan. We're taking a look here at the podium. Stewart, Swanson, Castro Neves, and next week, these drivers going back to a place many of them absolutely love. Lucas Oil Raceway, that is next Saturday night. We're going to have a lot of fun out there in Indy, and then followed by Slinger Speedway, July 10th, wrapping things up at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. That's closing it all out July 17th. Hey, let's hear from Willie T, shall we?
Hey, Lindsey, I'm here with Willie T. Man, you were absolutely sawing on that thing tonight. How much fun did you have?
It was fun. I mean, to race with champions and legends and Indy 500 4-time winners is awesome. We, in the beginning, in the heats, we just had nothing in the back, no grip. But for the main, they fixed it, and at least we could run and make some passes. And, you know, this is the second dirt show I've done, so it's only going to get better, baby. It's only going to get better. But there was some banging. Tracy, it's on, baby. You got 11 guys that want you.
AB, Paul Tracy's not going to sleep this week. I think we got Willie T hunting for him. Lindsey, here we go.
You know what? Willie T just gives it all every single race. It is so much fun to watch him. All right, season point standings. We want to get you set for where these guys are right now. Stewart leading the way. Look at Ernie Francis Jr. there. Tony Kanaan behind him, and Bobby Labonte in 6th. Bobby, as we're hearing, not too happy about tonight, but that's okay, because next week we will be back in Indianapolis, continuing the Camping World SRX Series. We cannot wait to take you there to show you another incredible race here on CBS. So for Alan Bestwick, Brad Doherty, Matt Yoakum, and James Hinchcliffe, I am Lindsey Zarniak. We are saying goodbye from Eldora tonight. This track doing what a lot expected. It broke some hearts, but it also made some people very, very happy. Specifically, when Cody Swanson, the guy who came in not knowing how it would do, he gets a 2nd place finish. We're saying good night and so long. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.